Continue our coverage this morning of what is happening down in the Western Cape. Devastation is what many people are waking up to this morning. Flood victims needing all the help that they can. One of those people providing assistance, or one of those companies and organizations providing assistance, is Robertson Tourism. Hundreds of families forced to flee their homes. Now they're trying to assist as many victims as possible. Shelter and food desperately needed. Let's get a sense of how they're looking this morning. Their manager, Renate Le Roux, joining us this morning from Robertson Tourism. Morning, Renate. Good morning. Just give me a sense. We'll get into the logistics that you're handling at the moment. I just want to find out from someone who lives in the area, how bad was it for you yesterday?
Yeah, it was quite surrealistic, and now you understand why they call it a crisis. But yes, my phone just started ringing non-stop at around 5 o'clock. And I realized there's no way that I can handle all these calls. So we set up sort of a crisis office at the tourism office. And yeah, people just offered their help and answered phones. But yeah, I think what worried me through the night was how many people couldn't get through because there was just too many phone calls.
What sort of assistance is being offered at the moment, Renate? What are you providing? What are you needing?
Yeah, basically the most important thing last night was to offer accommodation. Our tourism accommodation was full very, very quickly, like before dark. So we asked the community to please open up their homes and offer rooms and beds and any space for people just to get cover and be warm and maybe have water for the night. So that was the most important, the crucial thing we focused on.
The sun beginning to rise at the moment. I think we're all going to start getting a real sense of what this damage is looking like this morning. The tourism aspect of this, obviously we're busy still counting the cost, but I imagine on the back of your mind, Renate, as someone who's the Robertson Tourism manager, you're going to be very concerned about the damage to the tourism industry.
Yes, we had a festival this weekend. It was our Taste Tradition Heritage Festival. So there were more people than normal in the area. And yes, but with the previous flood, we saw how quickly people got back to operating again. So I'm sure it will happen again this time. And then I think, as always, we're just thankful that it could have been worse. That's what we always fall back on. And yes, I just hope that we could help the most vulnerable. We started focusing later on people with children or older people or foreign people so that we could help them first. But yes, in the end, we could only help so many. So
paint a picture for me, Renate, if you could. For those of us who don't know Robertson all that well, I'm afraid I don't know the Cape area all that well. Just try and paint a picture for me about the sort of damage in the area. Were we seeing houses being damaged, roads being closed? We saw a couple of videos coming through from Franschhoek and other areas yesterday. But just help me understand, for someone who doesn't know the area, what sort of damage are you looking at?
Okay, so what causes the biggest problem is when the bridge is flat, so that cuts you off totally. And that's what happened. The bridge on the way to Worcester at Renate was flooded, so the traffic stood for 7, 8, 9 hours. People couldn't move. And then some people turned around and came back to Robertson, but then one of our bridges flooded. So they were absolutely stuck between the two towns. It was raining, it was dark, and there was absolutely nowhere they could go. So when they phoned, we just said, please just stay in your car, keep your children calm. And yes, that was it. And the Cape Winelands disaster team, they were working full time. And I think it was just after 10, they managed to open the bridge at Renate so the track could move forward. So then we could see the town suddenly, sort of the cars just disappearing. So, but it was, you never know when that's going to happen. So the uncertainty, I think, is one of the worrying things when you're in a car stuck with your family, small children, no food. But we also spoke to all our the garages that are open 24 hours and the grocery stores. They all stayed open for longer hours until everybody was helped. So also the town people, they just opened up their homes and supported. So I think in a crisis, that's always the incredible thing, is the goodness that comes out of it. So, but I think as the week continues, we will hear more and more and more stories. And I think the biggest damage now is the bridges. The bridge to McGregor was flooded. So my own family, I was sort of on both sides. We were at a family weekend, and 9 of them are stuck in McGregor, and 3 of us are on this side. So that's still a problem. Today we're going to figure out how we're going to get everybody back home.
Yeah, that's going to be the big focus for today. It's incredible to hear the garages, the little shops at garages staying open, the grocery stores staying open to try and provide some food, all of those in the tourism sector. It seems many in the Robertson Tourism sector opening up their doors to let people sleep there overnight and maybe for a couple of nights. So well done, it seems, to everybody in the Robertson area. Renate Le Roux, my thanks to her. She is the tourism manager for Robertson. And those are the kind of stories, T, that we're going to be hearing over the next couple of days as well. So we're going to keep a very close eye, not just on the breaking news on your screen, of course, we'll have more on that for you, but also the Western Cape this morning.
And this is the time, Gareth, where we see people rising up and assisting others. You know, times of distress, we often wait for organizations to do that on our behalf. But, you know, being neighborly never goes out of fashion. And we start seeing people coming out and being of help during this time. Here's what